Is it working?
It says we're live. What does that mean?
I don't know.
It means that you're dead.
Hey, we're 2 seconds. Wait, live means we're dead?
That's what I say. It's opposite day.
Oh, well, that's a bummer.
No, that's awesome. It's opposite day.
Man, yeah, I'm not good for this bizarro world. Yeah, we walked into that one. All right, fine, let's just start. Hi, I'm Philip.
And I'm Tommy.
Welcome to RCX UnPHILtered. It's already starting off bad.
No, this is great. See, it's opposite day.
That means it's bad. See, I thought I had it right that time. I was saying it was bad.
Oh no. Now I'm confused.
Stop this bizarro. Stop this bizarro stuff.
Yeah.
Tess is back.
Hi, I'm back.
Look at that. And Gregory's still here.
Yay, Gregory.
Yesterday, Tess was telling us opening night of the play went without a hitch, 0 problems. Everything was perfect.
Really? Is that?
It's opposite day.
Would you say the power went out?
Yeah, the power went out. All the breakers flipped. So
Wow.
yeah.
So that was your Friday night opening
That was
day.
opening. Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
Bye, Gregory.
Bye, Gregory. Yeah. We started, we came on stage, we're supposed to enter with like flashes of lightning. It just didn't happen. So we entered in the dark.
Wow.
Until the director was like, okay, you can't do this in the dark. So we got to start over.
So how far did
Perfect.
you go in to start over?
I think we only got halfway through like the first number. So we did half of it in the dark.
So you did 3 shows?
Yes, 3 shows.
And how many
They
shows?
all went similarly.
And how many shows do you have coming up this
I
weekend?
have 4 more. One's a private showing.
And that's the one we're going to hit on.
Yeah. So how is this like going to be just like one dude in the middle of the?
And
just-
what?
I have
Describe this
no
private-
idea. No, it's so secretive. They won't tell us who it is. It's a private donor,
Please
Or an
describe this
anonymous
private
donor.
dance number that you have
right? I don't
going on for your donor.
I have no idea.
Is there the equivalent of Luis Guzman at Brightpoint? Because for those of you who haven't seen Community, that will make any sense. But like the actor Luis Guzman went to the fake community college, so like there's a statue of him and stuff. But like,
Cool.
is there like a minor celebrity that went to Brightpoint? And
No, I mean, I assume it's the people who like funded the theater because it's called the Lynn Theater after what's his name's wife.
oh man, who forget
He
what's his name?
donated a lot of money to build the theater.
Huh.
Yeah.
And that's why it's called the Lynn Theater.
Got it.
I'm assuming it was Miss Lynn?
Yeah, but it was her husband that surprised her.
Mr. Lynn.
No, man.
Okay. Wow.
You can't come to the private showing. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
It'll be bad anyways because we've had a week off. Anyways,
So power outages, private showings.
Mhm.
Wow.
The theater department at Brightpoint sounds
it's great.
amazing. I hope I can carve out time to come see the show this weekend.
Are we still doing opposite day? I'm not really sure. I can't figure out what we're doing at this point anymore. Like, I don't know. I don't even know how to even word any of this.
Like I am sad that I couldn't make it to opening night because I knew that one was going to be a catastrophe because it always is.
It always is.
It always is.
Mhm.
Oh,
Well, she didn't even
man.
tell me. She didn't even
Yeah.
tell me when opening night was. I asked her
haven't
to, and
seen
she.
you.
Yeah, I had to get the information from Gregory.
You have a
Oh,
phone? Do you not own a phone? I'm pretty sure you and I have texted.
we have.
I'm almost positive that you and I have used these new
I know,
Fandango
right?
devices.
I could totally do that if I wasn't eternally worried I was bothering you.
Well, that's the whole reason I texted. I bet Philip's having a good day.
That's right. Yeah. That's why you have these. Like, you're not calling, right? Like, it's not like I have to answer your texting. Like, I can read a text whenever.
Yes, sir. I will text you more often. It's in my job description.
So everyone always texts me. That's why everyone texts me. They'll know I'll eventually get back. That's like I was telling Scott at work the other day. You know, you have emails and you have IMs.
Mhm.
And I'm like, if you send me an IM that should have been an email, I could also ignore your IM. Like, IMs are designed if there's like you need answer now
Mhm.
or there's an emergency, not hey, can you help me with? Yeah, that's not how that. Like, so I too can also ignore.
Mm.
I do ignore things. I'm good at that. Well, you want to talk about your book?
Yeah. All right.
I don't have a
so,
I have a lot.
unfortunately, we can't order this book because it was a Kickstarter thing. Phoebe kickstarted this because she went to art school with Adam Suerte.
Is that correct?
I hope, God, I hope
you
so.
sure it's correct?
I really hope so.
Man, if he butchered your name,
yeah.
please let us know.
Adam, if you
'cause
see this and I did it wrong,
Please let
you
us know.
can come stab me with a small thing filled with ink. He's a tattoo artist. Anyway,
Well, but wait, that would be giving you what you want.
I know. So anyway, if you can see his name, it's that.com is where you can get the book. If you're a fan of underground
Wait, is
comics,
this his name.com or that.com?
it's his name.com.
You said that.com.
Now I'm afraid to say it again.
What's his name? I'm looking it up so I can put it in the thing.
It's
How do you spell it?
here you go.
ADAM?
So anyway, if you're a fan of underground comics, specifically like R. Crumb type stuff or like American Splendor, this guy is definitely a dude to read. It has the same vibes as a lot of the books I read that came out in like the 70s and 80s. And like the first thing, like Phoebe was like, hey, you should check this out. This guy I went to art school with made this. And so like I opened it up and on the inside, it was like guest artist, Mark Baudet, Sophie Crumb. And I was like, I know those last names. It turns out Mark Baudet is Vaughn Baudet of Cheech Wizard fame, son, right. And Sophie Crumb is Robert Crumb's daughter. And they both worked with him in a tattoo shop at some point. So like there's stories about people that are, you know, related to the comic book industry. There's actually a really great sequence in here where Robert Crumb comes to his store, to his tattoo shop, because his daughter's like going buck wild in the city. And he's like, I don't appreciate what you guys do with our daughter. And they're like, sir, if she's not at work, we don't see her. We don't talk to her. And there is a panel in here after Crumb leaves, and he's so upset because Robert Crumb, one of his heroes, because I mean, if you do this kind of art, Robert Crumb's going to be a guy that you love. And he has a panel that looks exactly like it was pulled straight out of a Harvey Pekar. It's just like him, like dejected and sad, and it looks exactly like something out of American Splendor. Anyway, you should check it out. He's a pretty good tattoo artist on top of that, and this is basically autobiographical. It's from the time he starts in the tattooing industry up until the pandemic 2020. And he'd done some like little zines and stuff over the years and done some at like sold them at like tattoo cons and some indie comic cons. Like he went to SPX 1 year, according to this.
I may have seen you.
So, and he did say at the end of this that like, this is a complete story from beginning tattooing to the pandemic, but he's working on a follow-up, which I am now very excited to get the follow-up. I'm hoping that he gets some distribution so that I can order some of these to have in the shop. He got a barcode. Like he did all the good stuff. I just need Penguin or somebody to pick it up because it's very good. If you like indie underground stuff, it's cool stuff.
Penguins.
So that's my spiel for Brooklyn Tattoo.
Your spiel.
My spiel. I really enjoyed that book quite a lot. It was very good.
How good? Why?
It feels a lot like, you know, the underground stuff that we were reading back in like the early 90s. It just has that kind of vibe. I like it.
It's a vibe, man.
It is a vibe. Speaking of things that are a vibe.
Hey, we're gonna do picks of the week.
This is my pick of the week. Weirdly, I have not read the last couple volumes of Doom Patrol. And this one I picked up, honestly, it's the first appearance of Beast Girl, and she is adorable. Yeah. So anyway,
that's creepy. There's Doom Patrol.
Somewhere in the last couple of series, I guess Chief has gone away, but Jane has picked him up as a personality, so now she's the Chief. And because she, I guess, is worried about the pandemic, she's still wearing a mask.
Personalities, man. Personalities.
Yeah, but it's Doom Patrol. It's weird because Doom Patrol has to be weird for it to work.
What?
Oh yeah, I forgot. Batman and Robin are in this, and Batman's like, "We've got this," and Cliff's like, "No, you don't. You have no idea what we're doing. You should go away." And Robin's just kind of like snickering in the background while Batman's getting told off by Doom Patrol. It was fun. They added a brand new character or two, I guess, two new characters. So anyway, if you're a fan of wacky hijinks, you should give it a shot.
And the first story arc is Degenerates, one and all.
Yeah. Yep.
So, it is the world's strangest superhero team.
Indeed, it is. It continues to be the strangest.
And then my pick of the week,
which made us both angry because we both liked it so much.
I was already going to get it, but I ended up liking it.
He's a big fan of Sweeney Boo.
So is Harley Quinn. Number, was it 28?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, this is a new creative team. What we have, Teeny Howard, and I was getting it because of Sweeney Boo. So I'm a big fan of Sweeney Boo and a lot of her stuff. So I was going to get it anyway. And then I was like, well, if I'm getting it, I'm going to read it. And then I liked it. So it's some crazy shenanigans going on, but it's also fun. So if you don't like fun books, you're not going to like this.
Yeah.
Like don't. And then there's a backup story by Erica Henderson, who did the Squirrel Girl, was the artist on Squirrel Girl and stuff. And basically it's if Harley Quinn, Catwoman, and Poison Ivy are the Power Ranger Sailor Moons.
Yeah. Magical girls plus mechs. Like it's
so that's the backup story in that. Erica Henderson does the writing and art on that, but the main story is Teeny Howard and Sweeney Boo. So, and it actually has a plot when you get near the end. So it's a bunch of stupid stuff. Stupid fun stuff. I call lots of stuff stupid.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of stupid fun, and then it ends up with a plot, and it starts dealing with basically the multiverse.
And Harley's got a few like side characters that I wasn't familiar with because I haven't been reading Harley forever. And they all, in the little bit of interaction we get in the book, they're all fairly well fleshed out. You kind of get where their relationship to Harley is.
Yeah.
It was super fun. And I don't know if it's the coloring that makes it so cute or if it's the art, because it has a very soft, like pastel color palette that works really well.
Sweeney Boo does the art and color. So,
okay. All right. Well,
so it's both.
Anyway, I really dug it and I did not intend to. So
anyway,
which I always love that. Like I read Doom Patrol not knowing what to expect. I was like, I'm going to read some number ones this week. And I knew that Harley was the first part of a new story arc with new creative team.
And that's why I was stuck reading Superman.
Yeah. I mean, doing this show has definitely made us read books we normally wouldn't, which has brought some new fun books to light for us. It's fun. So, and that's really what I want out of comics right now. I want something fun.
Fun.
Yeah.
Here, you read this. Talk about this.
So,
because this just came in today, and
I wanted this to be my pick of the week, and I enjoyed it. But there's not a lot to the first issue. It's a lot of setup, but like they give you a little. It's more about like setting the tone of the world and getting to know the characters a little bit. Again. And
it's
like,
been a while.
And introducing this to people who never watched the cartoon when they were kids or on DVD or whatever. So I'm intrigued where it's going. I am happy that this particular D&D property is getting a new life because I loved the cartoon as a kid. Pretty kind of loose and funky. So
loosey goosey.
Yep. So I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm excited for it. And
did you read this?
I did.
Okay. We'll just keep talking about books you read that I didn't read. Tommy read this.
I did. I did not read the second backup.
Which is the Lois and Clark or Power Girl?
Power Girl.
The Power Girl backup is one of the reasons I've been reading this book.
I know, and I didn't. I forgot that I hadn't read the one from the last issue. So I started reading it and I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So there is some great stuff with John in this book. Like there's a moment where, he's like, hey, Dad, I know you're busy and you're about to go out and do this thing, but at some point in the not too distant future, can we get together and play this game we used to play when I was a kid? And Clark's like, absolutely, we should do that. We'll take a weekend and go up to the farm and we'll bring the little kids that I rescued from Warworld with us. And John was like, oh, okay, cool. Awesome. And like, these kids aren't dumb. So after Lois and Clark leave and it's just John and the little kids, one of them's like, I'm sorry you hate us. We didn't mean to be bad. And he's just like, no. And kind of explains that, he lost out a lot of his childhood and he misses that time. He missed out on that time with his dad.
Thanks, Bendis.
And watching Clark interact with these little kids makes him like long for something he didn't get. And
it's still Bendis' fault. It's all Bendis.
It is. But then John like gives a little John Kent speech to the kid, and like it's anyway, the interpersonal, the human connections with these characters are the thing that I love most about the super books right now. The family elements are just so well done. Every super book I've read has something in it that just ties this family together in a way that I absolutely love, which hurts me to say sometimes. But
so what do you think, Tess?
I mean,
Please, Tess, what are you what are you thinking over there?
I love pictures. Is it a comic? Yeah. The cover's pretty.
was it?
I don't know.
I
I don't remember. I was busy.
Yeah, cover's okay.
Cover's okay. Yeah. That
Yeah,
cover's
okay.
kind of me. Here, I read this. Tommy didn't read this. This comes out this week, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I read the first like 3 or 4 issues of this, and then it started getting later and later. And then I started forgetting what had come before. So I was like, I'm going to buy this in hardcover when it comes out anyway. So I am waiting until it's done. It's Tom Taylor. I'm going to read
So
it.
basically, we're issue 10. So we're finally getting to the crux of what has been going on and who has been manipulating everyone in this little medieval universe and dealing with, like, why did Supergirl kill a whole bunch of people and why
Sometimes things
is
happen.
yeah, I'm just saying. And then why is Constantine a jerk?
He always is a jerk.
So
That's just
things
true.
like that. So we finally get to what is basically in the midst of calling all these factions to attack and after years of peace to start killing each other. So we only got 2 more issues. So we're wrapping that up pretty quick. And it's been pretty brutal. Like, people die left and right in here.
Yeah, it's
Or
Tom
right,
Taylor.
left.
So I will read it and love it when it comes out in a collected form. The first issue of this was unexpected, and
No, it's called Local Man, not Unexpected.
you're right.
People can't
I'll
read.
go.
It's called Local Man.
It is
not
called Local
Unexpected.
Man, and it is a flip book. Ta-da! It is the flip book is very 90s. So anyway, it's
This is that book. I
yeah.
need to read this.
yeah, it's really good. God, it's really. It was almost my pick of the week.
Issue 1 was actually really good.
So like, imagine you're on a super team, and then
Super team.
you're basically like
This guy.
yeah, that guy. They made him look a little Captain America-ish, but really he's more like Green Arrow-ish. He's got a little bit of superpower, but not a whole lot. But he's really good at targeting. So I guess he's sort of like Green Arrow, Hawkeye-ish kind of guy. And you're on a team, like a super team, for like a decade, and then the Superman character catches you sleeping with his wife, so you get kicked off the team, and then you move back to your crappy hometown to live with your parents because now, because of copyright laws, you're not allowed to be a superhero anymore.
So in this one, the way it works in this part is this team owns the rights to the characters.
Yeah.
So they gave you the costume, they give you the name, and then basically you can't use those powers or anything.
Yep. So it's this guy going back to his hometown, trying to restart his life from scratch, and nobody wants to let him. And then, of course, now there's a murder mystery, and he's in the middle of a thing, and he keeps getting contacted basically by a robot lawyer that's like, you can't help the police. You cannot help them in an investigation in any way. You will go to jail.
Did we learn more about the dog?
No.
Okay.
No.
Something's up with the dog.
Yeah.
Something's up.
So his arch nemesis from his hometown is a guy who was basically strapped in a super suit. Like it was like grafted to him. And the day he comes back, he goes to the local bar and he's just like, I'm trying to have a beer. And his arch nemesis shows up at the bar and attacks him. And he just defends himself. And so that guy gets put in jail and then is somehow murdered while in jail. And so, of course, he's the prime suspect. But we learn in this book, in this issue, that guy was his arch nemesis because he knew that this hero wouldn't take it too far. And he knew that it was safe to fight him because he didn't really want to hurt anybody. He was just like...
That's funny.
But at some point, one of the stronger heroes basically turned his brain to jelly. And now the guy has like all kinds of problems and he's not all there anymore. So like this issue... Local man goes to visit his arch nemesis mom.
Wow.
And is like, I'm so sorry. I can't believe this happened. And it's like, the book is weirdly sweet. The backup story is hyper violent because it's made to look like a young blood comic from, 93 or whatever.
Well, it takes place in that universe.
Yeah, it's
in the original Image universe.
Yeah,
with
these
Youngblood,
like
and
some of these
Shadowhawk
characters are like in the backup on this one, they're like, we're gonna get you hooked up. We're gonna make you more high profile. We're gonna get you with like a street level guy that's really tough. We're gonna maybe Shadowhawk. Yeah, team you guys up. You do a little team up. Be good for PR.
That's funny.
Yeah, but I don't know what I expected out of the book, but it's definitely better than anticipated.
And then, well, I think this is Tim Seeley is writing this.
Yes.
Right? Which is the reason that I picked it up because it's Tim Seeley. I usually like all his stuff.
Yeah.
And then I haven't read it, but Dogman came out this week.
Oh yeah, new Dogman.
It's behind us over there.
Yep. I expect a screaming throng of 8-year-olds at any moment.
Tess.
I was trying to get more people on. And I can only focus on one thing at
No,
once.
you're
I
good.
heard 8-year-olds, so I can provide. I will provide. My song in the show is called Mama Will Provide. So I will provide.
I did see you with your little
The
pregnant
pregnant
pack
belly.
on. Yeah.
Isn't that just really great?
Yeah. Because I saw it and I was looking over at Jacqueline. I'm like, hey. She goes, what? I said, have you seen Tess? She's pregnant. I said, she's fairly far along too.
I'm good at hiding.
You were only gone for a week.
Yeah. Well, in those other universes, man, let me tell you, things just move right along.
So you brought some fancy
I brought
stuff.
stuff, yes. Because I was asked last week to bring stuff.
Yeah.
Here, don't open this up though.
Oh, yeah. So Humanoids does a lot of really beautiful hardcovers of
Yeah, you got to be careful with that one.
Nope, can't show that page.
So
that one's fine.
So Humanoids was basically started over in France, right? Like years ago. And then they made a headquarters, I think, in Los Angeles, which I think is their main headquarters now.
Yeah, I think so.
If you don't know what we're talking about, last week, one of my picks of the week was a Humanoids book. And then we were asked, hey, what about Humanoids? What is Humanoids? So I brought some show and tell from home. And so basically, Mobius is actually who helped start Humanoids. So he was basically one of the creators.
He is
at the time.
For most Americans, he is, I think, one of the things he's most well known for normal superhero comics is a 2-issue Silver Surfer miniseries he did in 89, 88?
Yeah, something
like that.
in the 80s.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yep. So I have that. And then a book I didn't bring was, if most people don't know, you probably at least heard of Barbarella. Well, Barbarella was actually not an American thing. It was a European thing. And I have a giant, the original Humanoids Barbarella book. And then they do things like this, which is just Legends of the Paris Vale, which is, I think this one, I don't know which part of Europe this one's coming from, but they do. The reason I'm showing this is they do things like this, which is just stories that they bring over. And then they did like a Lugosi, book. Right. So all of these were books done in Europe initially. They were released in Europe, and then they are either translated here by someone or not. Like sometimes they could just not be translated for the most part. Was it that one? No, it wasn't this one either. I have to look this stuff up. But they also do, even though we go from like Madwoman, which we can't show pages here, to, I mean, guess technically we could, but someone would probably get upset.
Yeah, we're unfiltered, but we're still trying to be.
Yeah. But then they do books like this. So these are actually both European books that they decided to bring over here that are basically 10 plus books. So you're talking about, Agatha Christie and Katherine Johnson, and was it these? One of these, some of these is translated by, bigger creators over here. This is not. This is the English language edition though. But yeah, so these are also like, talking about these. So Humanoids does like a wide range of stuff. So they do a bunch of cool stuff. And
they do a lot of hardcovers, and they're always high quality.
Yeah. So, but like I said, I think their headquarters now, I don't know where these are printed at anymore, but the main headquarters is now in Los Angeles, but they still keep their place in France. Yes. Oui. And then we were talking about, and I'm using Strangers in Paradise or Terry Moore for all of this. So we were also talking about how foreign editions are bound to me better, or they look nicer. There's more effort put into these collected editions. So, and not that it's horrible here, it's just their take on art and overseas is just different. So here is Strangers in Paradise #6, which is the pocketbook edition, right? And you can see the flat binding on these and everything. But hey, this is an Italian version of this book, right? And so you can see that the build of these is just, there's a lot more thought put into how these are made, how the bindings are done. I'll do a better video of these later. You probably haven't seen the Italian version.
I haven't seen the Italian
but
version.
that's volume 6 of this. It's just a little bit larger. They still have things like there's a picture on the American version. And it's the same on that one too. That goes across the back. Let's see here. And we'll do these. So here's 5 years in the American. So this is the soft cover, 5 years of the American version, and see how it's just a normal binding that they do. But then this is the hardcover version of 5 years, and see how you got a little bit better binding. You got the nice little ribbon in here somewhere.
A bookmark.
Yeah, it's in here somewhere. Yeah, see it. But see how it's got, hardcovers are better binding, but then you have the French edition. So this is the French edition of that same book. But if you notice, it is kind of like a soft cover.
Yeah, it's somewhere in between.
But it's right. It's kind of in between with the way that they build these. But your binding is similar to a hardcover binding with your little, I think this one's green, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that is the setup. So this is like their standard setup for these books. So it's just, they're just a little bit more, to me, thought put into how these are done. And they want, like the white is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Right. Like, this is pretty. But this is.
What are the Italian or French Strangers that was also white?
This one?
Oh, yep, that's the one.
So they did omnibus for Strangers also. So this is your American version, right? Of volume 2. This is volume 1 in French. But it's the same. I brought the soft cover. So, and it's just all thrown together. But you can see in the French version, once again, we're set up a little differently, where this is just really more hard stock than paper, but once again, you're kind of in between, right? Like all the French stuff is kind of in between. I didn't bring like my Russian stuff because all the Russian stuff is hardcover.
Yeah.
All the Russian and German stuff is kind of a soft cover. Some of the German stuff isn't as nice as these. Like the French editions are pretty much my favorite, the white.
Well, I feel like France and Italy have taken have looked at graphic novels and graphic fiction as more of a legitimate art form for much longer than the rest of the world.
Yeah, they have. And so this is the Italian, but the French editions, I think I have all of Terry's stuff in French now. I think they've done all his stuff in French. So I pretty much have all of that. Right, French. Right. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's French.
Yeah. It's also confusing.
That's because it's in French. You can't read it.
Oh, is that what it is? Son of I think Jacqueline can read it. I can't read it. Jacqueline can read stuff. But that's kind of the difference between a lot of the foreign stuff. And I have a few other like hardcovers and things. Like I bought Carmen because that's Italian.
I think it's Italian.
Yeah. Spanish.
Is it Spanish?
Yeah, I think Spanish. I can't remember.
Is it Merca that's Italian?
Yeah, it's Merca.
Okay.
It's Italian.
All right. I kid.
Pretty sure it's Merca. That's Italian. But yeah. So that's a lot of that. Maybe one day I'll do a separate video and show like all the foreign stuff I have. Because I haven't done a video on my collection. I did the one, but then we had a bunch of other stuff. And I was going to do one Sunday, but then I went, I don't feel like it. So I moved on. Yeah.
People like to walk by and talk really loudly on their phones.
They do.
It's very strange.
Agatha Christie. You should all read about Agatha Christie.
I heard she wrote about murder.
What? That's crazy. This is a really good book.
I've never read that.
Yeah, it's really cool. Even the original, like I said, the Barbarella book I have is maybe twice this size.
Wow. I knew it was big. I couldn't remember.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it in a while.
It's a pretty large, but it's really pretty in that large format. It's not quite as big as the IDW artist editions.
Okay.
It's not quite that big, but it's
the only really oversized books I have are the that Terry Moore.
Oh,
the Strangers,
that one that came out a couple of years ago.
One. And then I've got the X-Men Adamantium edition, which is a book that is too big to read, but it looks cool on the shelf.
Oh yeah, I have that
Yeah.
thing. That's
that's gigantic.
That thing is where you could just hurt somebody.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it sits on top of the shelves because there's no shelf that will contain it. It's too big.
I don't think I've ever even opened mine just because why would you?
Well, I did. Well, I opened it here because it's in a slipcase. So I opened it here and pulled it out and flipped through it. And I was like, man, this is really pretty. And then I put it away and then put it on a shelf and never looked at it again because we do that a lot, I
I
think.
think there's an Avengers one too. Did you do a Avengers one or was it only?
I don't know.
I have to look. I have a whole bunch of that crap.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of that crap.
Well, that's because he likes weird sized books.
I do love weird sized books.
If it's oversized or really tiny.
It is. It's true. if you want me to buy your book, make it oversized or really tiny. I will usually buy your book.
Whenever I have a collection that has either ash cans or treasury editions, I have to wait until he comes in to see what he needs out of it before I can put it out on the floor.
That is true. I have a pretty good collection of treasury editions now.
Yeah.
I have 2 or 3 each of the Superman, Spider-Man ones now. So that's pretty cool. I do like the treasury edition stuff.
Well, they're cool.
Because I think the main things I collect now, those treasury edition things, the original Marvel graphic novels, and then ash cans.
Because they're oddly sized.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's like my main collection now, other than hardcovers and trades.
Yeah.
So that's going through something the other day. I found some weird hardcover. I think it was when I was looking for the humanoid stuff. Jacqueline goes, "Did you even know you had that?" I'm like, "Yeah, maybe." I sort of kind of knew, but I didn't really.
That's so many books. You should open a bookstore.
I should open a bookstore. Yeah, it would. I could actually.
Yeah, we could open a whole other store just with the books in this house.
But yeah, and so Jacqueline was getting on me the other day because I'll be honest, I'm really bad at getting stuff and then never putting it away. So I scan it, right? I scan my hardcovers and trays, and Jacqueline's like, "Why don't you put them away?" And I'm like, would you go put them away for me? So here's the problem, right? So like I went and put my hardcovers away. I'm like, fine. On Saturday, I made sure everything was scanned. I went and put all my hardcovers away. But as I'm putting stuff away, I'm like, ooh, I haven't read that in a while. So I grabbed it and went and sat down. And then I read like this whole, I sat down and read this whole tray, the hardcover. And then I'm like, well, I guess I need to get back to work. Like it takes me forever to put stuff. So if she does it like in 5 minutes. If I do it, it takes like 2 hours because I'm reading all this other stuff. Because it was the Mark Miller book that he did about 5 years ago with the warrior woman running from her husband.
Oh yeah, that's supposed to be like a Netflix thing soon.
They were supposed to do that as a Netflix thing, but it kind of.
I can't remember the name of that book.
I just read it. Yeah,
I read it when it came out, and I loved it.
It's even worse because I just actually read it. So I'm getting ready to tell you what it was. I'm getting ready to tell Empress.
Oh yeah, Empress.
Yeah, if you haven't read Empress,
I had the word queen in my head, so
I knew she was a queen. But yeah, if you haven't read Empress, Empress is phenomenal.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the first. Mark Miller signed that deal with Netflix some number of years ago, and they haven't really done a lot. They did Jupiter's Legacy, but nobody cared.
But that was supposed to be one of them.
Yeah, Empress is supposed to be one of them. Which I don't know if it's going to be live action or animated, but I don't care. I'll watch it would have
been phenomenal. But yeah, so I was putting stuff away. Ooh, Empress. So yeah, that was 45 minutes of my life that that's why I don't put stuff away.
Sometimes you just got to read a comic. It just happens.
Yeah. I was like, yeah. So I do that a lot though. Like I'm going through what's left of my single issues at home. And that's the thing that I'm having to not do.
Yeah.
Is stop and look at stuff which is not as bad now because most of my stuff I brought here.
Yeah.
So it's really just newer stuff. And like almost all of my Sweeney Boo stuff I own is because she did a cover on something. So that I wasn't going to read anyway. So I can just move right. Hey, look, it's Sweeney Boo. Hey, look, it's Jenny Friesen. Hey, look, it's Jen Bartel. Just move on.
The last 3 weeks, I keep acquiring books, and I'm like, I'm going to read this, and then the stack just keeps growing. So I'm reading some of the things, but I am adding more than I can conceivably read. And I keep trying out new manga, and they're either like too serious or like ultra violent, or like the one I was trying to read earlier today is rooted in history, and there was a lot of footnotes about wars, and I'm like, you know what? No brain for this today. Like it was good. It was really pretty and the writing was solid, but it was a little too heavy.
Yeah, I can't do. Yeah.
I want to read nonsense.
Yes.
Honestly, I want to read stuff that's fun and because nothing is fun in the world. So I need to read some fun.
That's why I've read Empress.
Yeah.
Empress is great.
We do have a question.
Yeah.
Any older hardcovers you recommend?
Older hardcovers.
Sure. Like it just depends on what you want to read. Like any of the Strangers in Paradise. I always suggest I love Strangers in Paradise. If you don't want to go that deep into 100 and something issues, Terry did, which is probably my favorite thing, is Motor Girl.
Yeah, Motor Girl is very good.
Which that's not really older. I guess that's like a few years.
That's a few years old.
Midnight Nation. Midnight Nation is probably my favorite book of all time. It is J. Michael Straczynski and Gary Frank on art. Straczynski writing, Gary Frank on art. Say it correctly. And it is just about one man's journey to try to get his soul back. And I love that book. I will go far as say is we have probably sold more of that book here than any other shop in the country.
I just had to reorder it like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so I have hand sold that book for years.
Yeah,
I've even hand sold some of the big absolute editions of that book. It's actually phenomenal. I've had no one complain about that book yet.
Yeah, he told me to read it like 10, 15 years ago.
Like, and those are It's a safe book. Like there's no, like it's just a deep thought journey book. There's stuff like if you like weird, we have Madman, which is that's weird. It's weird, but I love Madman.
The world's only existential superhero.
Yes.
Like I got into reading Madman in the 90s when Image started publishing it. So I got in
after the Tundra days.
Yeah, after the original stuff. It is so weird and cool. Like some of the villains are like beatniks.
Yeah. One of his first appearances, he beat a guy up and his eyeball popped out, so he ate the guy's eyeball. It changed a little bit from then, but that was kind of
that was the early days. Yeah.
That was the early days. That was the initial.
One of his primary weapons is a yo-yo.
Yep.
He's very good with the yo-yo.
And yo-yo, and then he had the toy guns that shot the disc.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
that. Was his two main weapons. Was you probably never even seen one of those, have you? So back when I was a wee lad, they made these little plastic guns and they shot little plastic discs and they would zip across the room. I have to bring one in for you because I have one for my Madman costume.
Dinosaur?
Yeah. It's made out of dinosaurs. It's plastic.
It's plastic, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's 100% made out of dinosaur.
Yep.
Y'all got 4 minutes.
What?
Well, anyway, yeah, Madman is fantastic. It's weird, but in a fun way.
Yeah.
It's not a hardcover, but this week we got a new printing of Big Guy and Rusty the Boy Robot.
Yes.
So if you've ever seen Jeff Darrow's artwork,
right?
I don't understand how this man
works.
I just can't comprehend it. He puts so much detail in every panel.
Got 4 minutes.
And it is absolutely amazing. But it's amazing. There's a kaiju fight. Like this was originally printed like treasury size.
Yes.
Well, so that's the one that I have at home.
So that's why. So it was a 2-issue series, treasury size, and then they made a trade paperback treasury size, and then they made a hardcover treasury size, and now they've made it this size.
Yeah, this just came out this week.
But yeah, I mean, this is.
But like the details,
this is what you're
astounding
looking at here, and it is phenomenal. Like a lot of people originally knew him from Hard Boiled,
which we got a new printing of that this week as well.
It's Hard Boiled is brutal, but this is the complete opposite of
Hard Boiled is a hardcore crime story.
Yes,
that is violent and graphic. And the graphicness of this one is fighting kaijus. So you know,
it is
even if it gets graphic, it's nonsense.
It's legitimately robots fighting kaijus.
Yeah,
and it is phenomenal. I do love.
I haven't reread that in like 15 years either. I should probably reread it.
They did actually make animated series.
They did. I never saw that. I never saw it.
So I had a license plate on. I had a 2000 Dodge Durango, and my license plate on that. In the show, they actually had what his call sign was. Big Guy's call sign was. It was BGY11. And so that was what my license plate was for the longest time. It was BGY11 because that was his call sign. So I have it sitting in my garage, or my license plate sitting there.
And I was like, I've seen that license plate, but I don't remember that car.
Yeah.
So I've probably just seen it in your garage.
Yeah, you probably seen it in my garage. Yeah. I still have the toy too. They did a Big Guy. Rusty toy from years ago. So that's one of the few toys that I kept. Was my Big Guy toy. That's what I do, man.
And then soon, I just ordered it. In a couple of months, we're getting a reprint of Fawfet and the Gray Mauser.
Oh, really?
That Mike Mignola did,
wow.
I don't know, 25 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's getting a new printing, which if you enjoy tragic fantasy heroes, that book is great.
So what I'm going to do on one of these episodes is, because I complain about it all the time, we're going to do nothing but books like this and explain to everyone why they're wrong that the 90s had nothing good in it.
That's a great idea. There's so much good stuff in the 90s that because it wasn't Marvel or DC.
Right. Like if most people, please.
Yeah.
Please. Thank you. Yeah. Most people. And if anyone has heard me talk, it's one of my many soapboxes. but everyone will come, or people will come and say, they go, you know, the 90s were awful. The books were awful. No, you just decided not to read good books. And I'm going to just flat out tell you, because you had books like this, you still had Madman. And so I think because we'll lay out Bone.
Yeah.
We will Concrete.
For 2 years, the only comics I read were Bone and Madman, and that was it.
Yep.
Because they brought Aunt May back to life in Spider-Man, and I was mad about it. So I gave up on superhero comics for a couple years, and it was good.
They should have kept the old woman dead.
Well, they did the whole like
issue 400.
Issue
It's
400.
Issue 400.
It's a perfect issue of a comic, and they were like, actually, just kidding. Ha, that was a clone. Anyway, Bone, Madman. I never read Concrete, so I can't. I don't know about that one.
All of a sudden, we have lots of questions.
Oh,
This regular comic, treasury size.
oh, I see.
Yeah, all of a sudden there are lots of people.
So that is what a treasury edition book is, and a lot of times it was reprints. So this, actually, I don't know if this one
I don't
is a
remember if that
reprint or
one's a
not.
reprint
Yeah,
or not.
I can't. So some of them were reprints that DC did, but then that was where actually the first team up with Superman and Spider-Man appeared in a treasury edition.
Also, I believe Superman Muhammad Ali was also a
was
treasury
also
edition.
the first one of it was a treasury edition,
Mhm.
right? So the treasury editions were really cool. It's just no one ever cared for a long time,
Yeah,
and most people still don't, because they go, "What? It won't fit in my box."
and that's exactly how they say it every time.
Right? Dang it, Bobby! It won't fit in my box. I'll bend it. It's my treasury edition. I can bend it.
All right, I believe we've gone over.
Yeah.
Do you not want to answer the what about the X-Men though first?
What about the X-Men? God Loves Man Kills is the best X-Men story ever written. It's Chris Claremont and I can't remember who did the art.
God, you're
Man.
you're out of my wheelhouse with X-Men.
Anyway, God Loves Man Kills, best X-Men story ever written. It was a graphic novel. It was an original Marvel graphic novel.
I mean, I own it, but I've never read it.
And it is.
It's a graphic novel.
It was the first time I read an X-Men book and was like, man, Magneto's got a point. Like maybe he's not wrong. So anyway, I'm not gonna give you any spoilers. They used parts of it for X-Men 2. Stryker in X-Men 2, who was a military guy in that movie, is actually a televangelist, an anti-mutant televangelist who is talking about how mutants don't deserve to live. I don't know if there's any real world parallels we're living through right now, but I would recommend reading that book.
Has it been reprinted?
Yes, they actually did an annotated reprint year and a half ago, and that's been collected. I actually need to go check and see if it's in. I try to keep it in stock at all times because whenever anybody's like, "What X-Men?" that is always my go-to. So yeah, if I don't have any, I will by next week because the book is phenomenal.
Yes, it always does. All right. So anyway, Tess has given us really hard looks now because
giving you hard
we have gone
looks.
3 minutes over.
It's fine.
It's
You guys could
fine.
go all
It's
night.
fine.
I
Hey.
enjoy sitting here listening.
Brian, oddly enough, earlier today, Philip and I had the conversation like, you know what? Thanos at the end of Endgame, when he's just like, you know what? I'm going to wipe it out. I'm going to start all over from scratch. We were like, you know what? We can get behind that.
Yeah, if he'd have just done that at the beginning,
Yeah,
right?
that'd have been the
It was
first
like
plan.
the half thing was.
Yeah. Yep.
Was where it was an issue.
Yep.
Like 3 more seconds. Like it would have been fine, but no. Exactly. All right. We will let everyone go now. So all right. So because Tess is really like pointing at us and like, hey, we're coming up on 50 anyway.
Yeah. And,
All right.
in about 30 seconds, I'm going to shut down and fall over. So.
So-
Philip's gonna turn into a pumpkin.
Exactly. So, all right. Anyway, thanks for joining us. We'll be back next Tuesday. If you've enjoyed this, please come back and like this video and follow us and get all your friends to follow us too, because we're entertaining if we do say so ourselves.
Yeah, we entertain us. I don't know
Well,
if
that's
you
what he
guys are
said.
entertained, but
It's like, I'm entertained.
I'm having a great time.
So anyway, we appreciate it. And we'll talk to you next time.
Yay.
Bye. Not yet, not yet.